And today we're going to look at one of the most elite Transformers I've ever looked at by way of the elite commander of the elite guard. I'm using the word elite a lot there. By way of Transformers Animated Ultra Magnus. And this beast is going to be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe, and while you are at it, light them up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. Let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below. Also in the description down below, and if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. And this is Animated Ultra Magnus. This is what I think the Siege alt mode is really heavily based on. I've never handled this. I remember seeing it in a store once, 2008, 9, somewhere around there, I want to say, and thought it was kind of a beast then. Fun fact, and I probably mention it again in the review later on, but this guy is actually the exact same mass as a recent Commander class offering. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. What do you think of this guy? What do I think of this guy? How about we head over to the table and take a closer look at him? And yes, indeed, we dip our toe back into Transformers Animated today with the leader of the Autobots from Transformers Animated, or at least the leader of the Elite Guard. I guess he'd be the Elite Commander. This, of course, is Ultra Magnus. Renowned on Cybertron. He knows like all the fighting techniques. He's a master of them all, and some that are off-world. He is like your supreme commander in Animated. A bit of a different take. This guy came out 2008, 2010-ish. I think that the car one was 2010. I feel like maybe 2008 was Hasbro. Something like that, but about 15 years ago. Fun fact, 15 years ago, we called 522 grams of plastic a leader class. You know what we call that today? We barely call that Commander class, because this guy's mass is exactly the same as 86 Ultra Magnus. Isn't that crazy? Now, of course, the 86 Ultra Magnus has more articulation, but this guy had lights and sound. So there's your trade-off there. I just find it funny that, you know, I often talk about your plastic content for the money that you put out. It's just funny that, you know, something that was a leader, we've let now erode to the point that it's a whole different size class that costs about double the price of a leader class. So, you know, worth noting. That said, this guy's pretty great. But before we look at him, we can note his bio sheet, and it just explains the things I said about how he's the Autobot leader and a master of all this stuff, and he has extra armament and whatnot, like you'd expect him to be. And we got a big old sheet of instructions, kind of double-sided. It's a couple of panels on the other side. They're pretty effective, actually. And finally, we have Ultra Magnus here in all of his glory. This is his, like, I guess it's like his battle mode, so to speak, where he has a couple of blasters opened out here. He has the blasters up over his shoulders. These ones have also been taken out. And I thought that I started in this mode so that we can kind of put him back in his normal robot mode and kind of go from there to vehicle mode, and we'll sort of end on the vehicle attack mode, I suppose we would call it. This is, I believe, the first Ultra Magnus that had a Magnus hammer by way of this gigantic thing here. There's a rectangular tab here. It slots into the hand. If you want the sides to open, then you, there you go. Yeah, you pull this up. And when you pull this up, or I guess you could like, no, you'd have to pull it up, and then that sort of opens it out. We'll lay this to the side, but that's his Magnus hammer. We can fold that up and put this in, and this will go stored in vehicle mode later on. The Magnus hammer, by the way, really cool. I don't know where else to really store it on robot mode. I can't really see anywhere for it to store on robot mode other than his hand. But I'm open to the idea that I could very well be missing something, and someone in the comments might say, hey, you could put that in this place. And you know what? Not you're probably right, you would definitely be right. Because you would know more than me. We're gonna put his pieces back and then we're gonna start doing some scores for the guy. We'll start with his coloration, do his articulation, then we'll do the transformation, then we'll get out of here. So pretty easy to kind of put this stuff back. By the way, this is on loan to me by a good friend of the channel, Maximal10, and not for nothing, but honestly, everything is still really tight on this guy, especially these shoulder pieces, super crazy tight. I was afraid to move them, honestly, for transformation. And then we bring that down over and close it up, and same over here, we open this out, we bring those blasters down over and close that up. Then we can push in, push down, and push down. And if you want, you can now take this all the way down and like just bring these up on the back or something and bring this down, or however it is that you want to do it, right? I tend to kind of just leave them like this, right, at this angle. But that's just me. Let's get this guy kind of settled and set up, and we'll start doing some scores. Starting from the feet and working our way up, we have the black and the blue and the red, that's correct. We have the black here on the shin, the blue here. We have the little hook pieces, they're correct. The black on the thigh, the kind of gray, I suppose, here on the upper thigh, that's correct. The gray and black torso with the pelvis broken up with the blue, all correct. The blue chest with the Elite Guard symbol in the middle, correct. These red details here on the side, not correct. The head is correct right down to the blue spot on the chin. And the like shoulder pieces behind here. When we go to the arms of the guy, the fingers are the right color. The thumb should also be that color. We should also have some white-ish detailing kind of on the forearm here. And luckily we do have the detailing on the back of the forearm that we're supposed to have. We're just missing like kind of like one white line basically. And then we get to the shoulder pieces, and they're okay. The way the two windows are on the side, that should be one window and go back further. On the front here, I feel like this black should go right up to the very top. This is pretty much correct, although the silver here should just be the regular gray. So like little stylized at the shoulder a little bit, but you know, like if you know Animated Magnus, you know that this is Animated Magnus. I'm gonna give him a solid, he's a solid 9 for sure. Let's do the articulation for the guy. Now, like I said, in comparison to the Commander class, that's where this guy does fall down a little bit. And I think, honestly, he sort of suffers in terms of articulation because he does have the lights and sound gimmick. I don't have batteries in this guy. I'm not putting batteries in this guy because, quite frankly, I don't like lights and sound. But if you do, you can put it in and press his chest, and like these translucent pieces light up over his shoulders, maybe another couple of pieces. You get the idea. Okay, so articulation, we have a 9 so far. The head can go left and right, and he can open his mouth up and down, which is weird articulation, but okay. It's spring-loaded too, but no actual up and down movement that I can discern. The shoulder, I guess, can go all the way around. You might have to get the back pieces out of the way. Out to the side, and sometimes if you want a lower shoulder, you can do that. Like if you want like a dropped shoulder, you could do that. We have an elbow to 90 degrees. We have a bicep swivel. We have fingers that open and close. We have, hold on, let's get these arms T-posed out to the side. We have legs. Oh, if I get the skirt armor up here. We have legs that can go out that far. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn close. They can kick forward. Oh wait, if I get that up, maybe even, pretty much all you need. Back all the way, kinda. Nice ratcheted, little over 90 degrees at the knee. Thigh swivel, toe up and down, no ankle tilt. So, and no waist. That's the big killer here, no waist. So, you know, it'd be nice if you had a waist. It'd be nice if the head could actually go up and down instead of just left and right, and an ankle tilt would be nice. I'm gonna say articulation's okay. These are a little obtrusive. I'm gonna say 8.75, you know? Actually, let's say 8.5. That way we can split the difference of 8.5 and 9 and say right now the guy's about an 8.75, which all these years later, some 15 years later, still a really strong score. We have to do the transformation. Man, oh man, do I hope I remember everything here, because there's a lot to remember. And it's really cool. It really is. I really, really dig it. Okay, let's see if I can remember any of this. So, I'm gonna open this out and open this out. There's a black, it's like a hinge on this and then a hinge on the arm. It's connected to like a blue piece. That hinge, super tight, but it does need to collapse the shoulder down and in order to do the transformation. And it's the hardest part, so I'm gonna do that first here now and try and get both of these down. Oh man, man is that tight. Really, really, uncomfortably tight to get down. I'm gonna have to get these in and then we're gonna go on from there, because they're so brutally tight, and where this isn't mine, I do not want to break it. So I wanted to show this black hinge in right here that my finger was just blocking. You need to angle these down and then you push the shoulders in so that the hinge is straight up and down like that. But on this particular copy, that hinge is crazy tight. Okay, let's try and keep going here. I think that piece comes up over and this flips all the way up over, I do believe. And this, I think, flips all the way up over, I do believe. Yeah, I think that's... And then I think these go straight like that. And close in a hand and close in a hand. We're going to leave those down for now. I think we leave those down for now. I haven't done this transformation a lot, so bear with me a little bit here. But I believe the idea, yeah, is to get the shoulder up over like that. I don't know. There we go. And then put them together thusly, I do believe. And then these arms are now in under here, and we can bring this back and bring this back. And I think, yeah, flip this out and flip this out. There, yeah, kind of upper body done. We're gonna flip these up like this for now as well. Thusly. Okay, I think that's the upper body done. Now the lower body is insane. It's so cool how the lower body gets done, because all four tires are behind the legs. And I love how the lower body's done. The guy's so hefty and chunky too. I hope that was clear. The upper body and the shoulders are definitely, I guess, the hardest thing to deal with, at least on this copy, because of how tight they are. Okay, so now that we're down here, let's kind of bring these up so that they're sort of out of the way. And we can bring these up and unfold that leg and unfold that leg. Now, this is where things get really interesting back here. This whole piece now on this black hinge in here is going to angle to the outside. And again, over here, gonna angle to the outside. The feet, they flip up underneath. Okay, and I think they stay down. We'll see now in a minute anyway, as we do this. Now the knee is gonna bend up, and this whole side is gonna go right up along the side here, or it should. I might need to take that out, actually. Why not? Maybe not. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Need to take that out. Wait now, hold on. Let me try this one over here first. Sometimes one likes to get a little stuck. And let's also pick that up. There we go. And then that goes in on this side. Okay, woo! So that does stay down. And then this comes up. There we go. Then all of this, all tabs in, this folds in, and then these kind of go like this. The Magnus hammer has two little notches on the side of the hammer that go down into little tabs on the side of the hammer that go into little notches here in the legs. I'm going to get the Magnus hammer in there, and then we'll talk a little bit about the transformation. And yeah, I'm just going to make sure I got everything solidified. But basically, boom, in the end, here we have Ultra Magnus in his vehicle mode. And with a few little tweaks, we have Ultra Magnus here in his vehicle mode. The Magnus hammer's back here. This is all back. I feel like the Siege version of Ultra Magnus and the vehicle mode that we got with that is way more indicative of this than of G1 Ultra Magnus. Because it's one solid body length, right? That's why I say that. These pieces here, they can still certainly all come up around. And does this turn? I don't think it turns. If it does, I can't get it to turn. But we could still do a battle, like mode, so to speak. You push this up and forward. You push this up and forward. And then you, I think I'm getting all this found correctly. Then you open the front here and you bring that up and you bring that up and you close the front up. I think that might be it. Hold on, I'm just gonna look at the instructions here for a moment to see if that's everything. That's up, those are out, and oh, no, I do have two other minor things that I gotta do. One, these slide forward. And then lastly, I do have to bring that out and that out there on the front, thusly like that. And man, oh man, does he look armed up. I love this. I really, really, really love this. I think this is so cool, so neat. Transformation. Here, come forward all the way. Transformation. You know what? The guy was getting an 8.75 overall. The transformation, as far as I'm concerned, is it gotta be a solid 9 for sure. The hardest part are those arms, but again, I think that's just that Maximal 10 has taken really good care of his copy, and that's why those joints are still really tight. But yeah, a 9, honestly. So 8.75, 9, this guy overall is about, even now, some 15 years later, somewhere around an 8.9. Man, what a fantastic Magnus. Could he use an update? Maybe. Does he need one? I don't know. But if they do an update, he would have to be Commander class, and really the only way to improve over this is to give him added articulation. Don't take any of these features away, but give him some added articulation, and boy oh boy, you could have a real special, I think, Commander class offering. But if you want to go back and get the original Leader Class 1, there's a solid argument for that, and he's still excellent at an overall score of 8.9. And here we are once again, and here he is. He's glorious. I wish he had a waist. Take that out of it. I think the leg transformation is inspired and brilliant. I love it. I think the shoulders are terrifyingly tight, but that's only a testament to how well Maximal 10 has cared for this guy. Even he said that he hasn't transformed it a lot. So it's still like as tight as the joints were when it was new, really. All the ratchets work beautifully. I love the hammer, the heft, coming in at the exact same mass as 86 Magnus, except this was a Leader and that was a Commander, and I'm sure that this didn't cost like, you know, $135 or whatever Canadian that Magnus cost. I don't know what he was in the US, 90 I guess. I'm sure that this wasn't that. This is brilliant. It could be updated. There's a couple of things that could be tweaked. And I didn't show the lights and sound because I didn't have batteries and it's not my thing, but if it's your thing, this guy is chock-a-block. He is an absolute beautiful beast. Hard to believe it's in the same line as Oil Slick. I say that because in the last review when I looked at Oil Slick, I was really disappointed. I don't like that at all. And I like a lot of animated stuff. This, so far, one of my absolute favorites. Never experienced it till now, but boy, oh boy, am I glad that I've experienced it. Let's bring that down. There we go. Fix that up. fantastic. Let me know what you think about Animated Ultra Magnus. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button. Stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget, not for a moment, not for a second, that somehow, some way, each and every single day, you right there, you do make a difference in the world, and I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old fashioned way, right here, right now, inside the videos.